today we're going to be talking about IE Tab and the switch that the field's going to be making away from Internet Explorer to Chrome. So why are we making this switch? In short, Microsoft is no longer going to be supporting Internet Explorer, and that's going to cause some security issues, and just Chrome in general is a better overall browser. Now, there are certain functions of ISISTRAK 2.0 that you can only do in Internet Explorer. So how are we going to do that? And that is where IE Tab comes. IE Tab is a Chrome extension in which we'll install it and we'll set a setting or two, and then you'll be able to launch an Internet Explorer tab within Chrome so that you don't have to go back and forth between browsers and maintain two browsers. So let's go ahead and get started. One thing to keep in mind, now that we're going to be using Chrome, go ahead and set Chrome as your default browser. If you don't know how to do that, just launch Chrome. You can click this menu icon, go to Settings. Depending on where it pops you up, it should pop you up in the settings. If it doesn't for whatever reason, go ahead and click Settings here, and then you're going to go down and there will be this default browser. So there's going to be a button here that says make Google Chrome the default browser. Now again, I'm in Windows 10, so this may look slightly different if you're in Windows 8 or 7, but it should follow the general instructions. And it's going to pull up a window, and you'll see web browser here. In this case, it has Microsoft Edge as the default. I'm just going to go ahead and choose Google Chrome, and that will set your default browser to Google Chrome. Alright, the first thing we're going to ask you to do before actually installing IE Tab is to run your Windows update. So it may be a while since your computer's been updated through Windows, but the Windows update is actually what updates Internet Explorer as well. So anyone that's having an old version, the way IE Tab works is it can only run the most recent version and below. So if you're using IE 7, you're not going to be able to run it in the IE 9 standardized force settings that we're going to set later on in the video. If you're not sure how to do that, I'm using Windows 10. This will be slightly different if you're using Windows 7 or 8, but it'll follow the general theme. You're just going to go to your search bar, type in Windows Update, and it's going to either say Windows Update or check for updates. You're just going to go ahead and click it. A window will pop up and it'll say you have set amount updates. In this case, my computer is up to date, so there's nothing to update in this case. But before we get started, please make sure you do a Windows update. You'll probably need to restart your computer as well for those to take effect. Alright, so we're going to showcase this in Windows 7 now, so in case there's any confusion. So all you have to do is search. You can use check for updates or Windows updates. Click the check for updates link. It's going to bring up this window here, and then you're just going to click install updates, and don't forget to restart your computer for these effects to take place. Alright, now that we've ran our Windows update, the next thing we have to do is actually install IE Tab. So the first thing that's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and just click Add to Chrome. It's going to pop up this little pop-up, and we're going to click Add Extension. So after that, it's going to take us to this helpful documentation page. Take a chance to read over this if you find it necessary, but we're going to be covering most of what we need to know in the video. The first thing that you actually need to do is go to right-click, Options, and then we're going to go ahead and scroll down, and we want to choose IE 9 Force Standards mode and IE Compatibility mode. The reason for this is just because at the end of the day, that is the best version for ISISTRAK 2. And so we're going to go, you'll notice that you have to restart this change to take effect. Now, depending on the operating system, it seems that some people can go ahead and exit out like I just did, and other people may actually need to restart their computer for it to fully take effect. So the safe thing to do is most likely just to restart your computer, and then it should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the ISISTRAK on Chrome so that we can showcase the issue and the differences as to why we're using it. So in this case, we're on the training server, so everything we're going to see is going to be somewhat change, so don't worry about privacy or anything like that. So there's two main issues. One is that the print icon does not come up, and once this loads, we'll be able to showcase that, and then we'll show we'll launch this same page in IE tab. So let's go ahead and we'll see address labels by state. It's going to take just a moment. The training server's a little bit on the slow end. So you'll notice the print icon for the report isn't there. So in the IE tab version, it will be. So how do we launch that? Simply left click. Now if this is your first time, it's going to launch this one-time executable. Most people do not have an issue running this. Certain computers may require you to get an admin to access this. Alright, so we finished installing the one-time executable. Do keep in mind that the people who may not be able to run that, you're going to need to contact Alltech or EDI's help desk to be able to have them install that one time. The majority of people should be able to, though. Now, we're just in a normal browser here. We want to launch our IE tab. All we have to do is left click. You're going to see this little drop down bar here. So it's just going to be a browser within a browser essentially. And we're going to go ahead and go to training.isistrack.com. Now some of you, again, you may have needed to restart your computer for these effects to take place. So we're just going to showcase that the issues that we were having in regards to, and you'll get the whole thing. So even the Internet Explorer, like remember your password, the whole deal. So this will be identical to how an IE browser would be. And we're just going to show that these reports now will have the functionality that isn't available in Chrome, such as being able to print based off location, or excuse me, being able to print based off the reports. So we'll go ahead and select a report, and we'll do that by the launch site. Everything's going a little slow, unfortunately. So we've selected a charter. I'm gonna go to reports. There it goes. And you'll see that we're just going to go ahead and pull up address labels by state. It's going to take a second to load. But in this version, you'll be able to see that the print icon that isn't available in Chrome is available in IE tab. So you'll notice that right here, this print icon is here, fully functional, and we could print out. Now the only other thing that the main issue regarding IE tab, or excuse me, Internet Explorer and Chrome, is the ability to choose certain data for pop-ups. And we're going to go ahead and show that that works in IE tab as well. Alright, so I've pulled up a quick report for monthly active / drop count. Sometimes in Chrome, these buttons here change, do not function properly. So you'll notice that in IE tab, now that we're essentially launching Internet Explorer within Chrome, we will now have the ability to select and these windows pop up. Okay. And that's really the two reasons that IE is really needed in ISISTRACK. So it's essentially just the print and the reports. If you have any issues or you have any questions, do check out this video that I'm making right now and the documentation, as well as if you have any issues installing IE tab, reach out to Alltech or EDI. Thank you.